Hey everyone, welcome back to the weekly thing. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Minecraft's many cool and unique biomes, ranking them from worst to first. Full disclosure, we're not really going to be ranking every single biome. There are countless little variants out there, so we've combined very similar biomes like, say, plains and sunflower plains into one just for the sake of brevity. Frankly, I'm not super interested in the differences between modified wooded badlands plateau and normal wooded badlands plateau, and you probably aren't either. Anyway, so we rank the biomes based on a bunch of different factors that might be relevant to the average Minecraft player, including loot, natural resources, and overall aesthetics. But at the end of the day, there's really no objective way to list them all. If you disagree, you can suck it. I should probably edit that out. Uh, if you disagree, feel free to leave your opinion in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Let's get into the video. This biome is basically a normal forest, but worse. No unique mobs, no unique items, and a wood type that's objectively just not as good as oak. The overall flat terrain and the fact that there's only one tree type just makes the place feel a little unnatural. Remember how boring the ocean was before the aquatic update? Well, that's pretty much what the cold ocean is. Although ocean monuments are very cool and fun to navigate, the cold ocean is mostly just some salmon, some kelp, and the occasional shipwreck. To paraphrase Syndrome, if every biome is special, none of them are. At the very least, this thoroughly average biome makes the other ones seem more exciting. The swamp biome just screams early Minecraft. It has a few cool features such as witch huts, but other than that, it's a pretty basic place that resembles what the Minecraft landscape looked like 11 years ago. It's a shame because swamps really could be so cool. I'm thinking giant cypress trees growing out of shallow, mucky water that stretches hundreds of blocks in every direction. Lots of monsters to watch out for, and maybe a couple of new mobs too as you try not to get lost. Mojang started to get into that spooky swamp theme a little bit, with witches and slime spawning on the full moon, so it'd really be amazing if they leaned into that more. Unfortunately, for now all we've really got are some recolored oak trees surrounded by vines and lily pads. The Soul Sand Valley is still a pretty new addition to Minecraft, but it seems to be a decent addition to the previously boring Nether landscape. The constant cries of ghasts and the fossils that litter the landscape give off some creepy vibes. However, it can be super annoying to travel in due to all the soul sand patches and the attacks from the many ghasts and skeletons. A little challenge is definitely fun and definitely needed, but you should still be able to, say, build something without being constantly bombarded. Overall, Soul Sand Valleys sort of straddle that fine line between challenging and just being downright frustrating. And as far as looks go, the brown soul soil and blue flames don't really stand out. The plains biome is okay. The main reason people, including myself, like it is because it's a nice, clear, flat place for building and traveling. But that's also a bit of a red flag in the biome rankings. The reason we love the plains is because it's a blank slate. We like it specifically because there's not much to see or do, no distracting world generation aside from occasional villages and those annoying little ponds. Which is fine. It just means that the plains shouldn't be considered a great biome in the same way that some others are. The mountains aren't necessarily bad either, but it's definitely a good thing that they're being updated. Their old name, the Extreme Hills, is probably more fitting because these hills don't really look like mountains at all. They're mostly just giant cliffs of gravel and stone with an occasional waterfall, resulting in something that's not very awe-inspiring or interesting to look at. Travel through the mountains is difficult, and the land is barren with few resources. But flaws aside, with every passing update, it remains a cool landscape that never fails to dwarf the player with its sheer size. This is a cool biome for what it is, but it's certainly not livable, and there's not much to do. It's a nightmare to navigate by boat, but the icebergs are usually the most easily accessible source of blue and packed ice for boat tracks, so that's good. After a while, you end up destroying the icebergs, and the polar bears are left to starve and drown. Just like real life. The Nether we've all gotten used to over the years might seem like it should be a bit lower on this list. I definitely don't get super excited whenever I see a Nether waste biome. But what would the Nether be without the classic Nether waste? It's still a cool biome featuring lava lakes, a large variety of interesting mobs, and a couple of ores. Though many people may have gotten sick of this biome before the Nether update, there really isn't anything to complain about here. The forest is the quintessential Minecraft biome. We've all spawned into it and built a home there countless times, and at this point it might just seem like the default, boring biome of the game. But if we take a step back and try to see it with fresh eyes, it's clear that this place is actually kinda nice. It's crowded enough with trees to be a little dangerous, but everything is still spaced out just enough to keep travel from becoming annoying. The rich green grass color might be the game's best. The landscape is filled with plenty of lakes, caves, and rolling hills, and there's a wide variety of nice looking trees. Birches and oaks that come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Just because it isn't rare doesn't make it any less of a solid, pleasant biome. Nothing that's too much of an eyesore, plenty of natural resources to go around. Let's not take it for granted. The desert is certainly different than most of the overworld biomes. There are no plants but cacti, there are no animals but rabbits, it never rains, and the entire surface is made up of yellowish-brown sand. But the big things that draw players to deserts are the unique generated structures. Sandstone villages, desert wells, fossils, and of course the desert temples, one of the only places in the game where you can find enchanted golden apples. Though deserts can be fun to go through on a treasure hunt, the fact is that they're pretty bland outside of the aforementioned structures. There are hardly any natural resources, but that being said, they are still cool to come across. Not every biome in Minecraft should be a cakewalk to survive in, so it's nice that deserts add more to the overworld than just grass and tree biomes. There's good and bad to the Dark Oak Forest. It's a cool biome, especially when viewed from the water. The forest floor, dark enough to spawn monsters even in the daytime, is treacherous, and combined with the massive mushrooms dotting the landscape, definitely creates a cool, enchanted forest vibe. The mysterious woodland mansions that occasionally generate only add to the appeal. And of course, dark oak is a really nice and classy looking wood type. The unfortunate thing is just the way that the biome is laid out. From the outside, all you really see is a canopy of leaves that you can just walk on top of without needing to face the danger below. Overall, a nice biome, but it's designed so that you basically just skip the interesting parts. The Savanna has some high highs and some low lows. Say what you will about acacia planks, but the acacia trees themselves look really nice, growing in a unique shape that's a lot more realistic and distinctive than what we're used to. The village variant here looks good, and the hills that occasionally generate are surprisingly beautiful. However, and this is just my opinion, the grass color is pretty hideous, and in general the terrain is basic, kinda like a plains biome with a few more trees. It's a bit like the swamp in that this biome could be so cool. Think lions and zebras and giraffes, but at the end of the day, it's not very unique. Taiga is a fairly basic and common biome in Minecraft, but it still has a lot to offer. The landscape of the taiga is perfect if you're going for that rustic, deep woods feel, filled with spruce trees and scattered with distinct features such as berry bushes and foxes that give it that little unique touch. Taiga villages are also neat in their own way, with log roof buildings and a really cool blacksmith variant. There's not a ton of color in the taiga, but that also means it won't distract from your own creations. So yeah, we'll be the first to admit that it's not the most exciting place, but like each overworld biome, it adds variety to the world, and spruce wood looks awesome. Basalt Deltas were added to the Nether in 1.16, and as far as aesthetics go, it gets an A+. The imposing basalt and blackstone ridges combined with the signature gray particle effects in the air creates a sinister feel. However, there is a reason it's been nicknamed Salt. It's really annoying and dangerous to traverse due to all the magma cubes and hidden lava pits. Again, it looks good, but there's not too much else to it, unless you either want magma cream for potions or have a death wish. It's like a plains biome, but there's snow. Woohoo, snow! Now what? I'm a big fan of snow, especially in Minecraft, but you get used to it after a while. There's not much to say about the snow tundra that hasn't been said about the plains, but it places way higher because it generates frozen rivers, polar bears, igloos, and the snow village variant, which in my opinion looks really cool. There's not really much to say about this biome either, except for that it's everything a taiga has to offer with the addition of snow. It's a simple change, but it really does make a difference. The blanket of white that covers everything, right down to the white Arctic fox variants, just looks so nice. It's certainly one of my favorite biomes to come across. The End, and I'm including the End Islands biomes in this, is what it is. There's no question that it has some of the best loot in the game, elytra and shulker shells, but the issue is that that's all there really is to it. Most players visit the end, grab what they need, and then get the hell out. It's rare to see anyone try to build anything there aside from maybe an Enderman Farm for XP. The world generation out in the islands gets a bit repetitive, sure. But the end is also such an interesting place. It's desolate and strange, as if you're wandering on another planet and exploring an ancient civilization of Endermen. The yellow and purple color scheme might be a bit weird, but it just adds to that otherworldly feel. For most biomes in Minecraft, if it were to disappear one day, it'd suck, but it really wouldn't affect much. But what would Minecraft be without the end? It's the culmination of the player's journey and provides an experience not replicated anywhere else in the game. The Crimson Forest is such a cool biome. It's strange and eerie with amazing colors, a combination of danger and fantasy. The quality of the biome, if that makes any sense, from the overall terrain to the little animated texture on the crimson logs, is fantastic. Probably the most interesting part, and the thing that really makes the Crimson Forest so special, is the biome's whole self-contained ecosystem of hoglins and piglins, packs of piglins hunting the hoglins as the hoglins try to fight back. It's just really interesting to think that this weird little world goes on without you. The bamboo jungle is known mainly for two things: pandas and bamboo. That's pretty much it. Although it is an incredibly simple biome, it is still a great addition to Minecraft for a few reasons. 1, it adds variety to the jungle. 2, it adds a cool new exotic animal to the game with a plant to accompany it. And 3, it's overall a pretty cool looking biome. Though it can be annoying to walk through all that bamboo, it's still a fun change from the normal jungle. Flower forests are really just forests, but way better. It's home to no less than 12 different types of flowers, each of which adds splashes of color amongst the green and brown of the basic forest. These flowers are also the source of various dyes that can be helpful in crafting recipes or in building. The flower forest is also one of the few biomes that spawns bee nests, Bees are, of course, cool insects that interact with the environment in complicated ways that most mobs don't. Overall, flower forests are pretty simple on the surface, but nevertheless, they're useful and, more importantly, just an absolutely beautiful biome. The warm ocean is miles ahead of the other ocean biomes in pretty much every way, with a myriad of colors and a boatload of animal life straight out of a National Geographic special. From coral to turtles to schools of tropical fish swimming around, it's far and away the most biodiverse biome in the game. There's decent loot too in some of the generated structures, as well as some rare items like sea pickles, but it's also a ton of fun to explore just for the heck of it. To finish off the 1.16 biomes on this list, we've got the Warped Forest, a really fascinating place that stands in stark contrast to its surroundings. It serves to be something of a refuge in the dangerous Nether, with no mob spawns except Endermen, who, if you don't bother them, won't bother you. This is reflected in the color of the biome, a soft blue glow amongst the Nether's sea of in-your-face red. Traveling through the Warped Forest feels quiet and lonely, in a cool way. The giant warped fungus growing all around looks amazing, like something out of a dream. It's a fantastic biome because it adds so much variety in terms of color and overall feel. And don't tell the Enderman I said this, but if you need pearls, this is the place to go. The Mushroom Fields biome, sometimes called a Mushroom Island, is definitely the most unique in Minecraft. Minecraft is obviously not a realistic game, so it's awesome when Mojang really embraces that by making wacky biomes like this. No monsters spawn in mushroom fields, even at night, which really makes this biome stand out from the rest of the overworld, and it's also the rarest major biome in the game. Now, it's important to note here that just because a biome is rare doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Oftentimes, the excitement of finding a rare biome gets mixed up with the merits of the biome itself. It's important to separate these factors and try not to let rarity cloud our judgment. That being said, even though mushroom fields aren't quite at the level of some other biomes visually, personally I'm not a huge fan of the mycelium, it's still an amazing place. Mushroom cows? What's not to love? The jungle is home to many different exotic plants and animals, such as cocoa beans, melons, parrots, ocelots, and many more. The towering jungle trees are probably the best in the game, and the bright green color of the grass and flora really creates that lush tropical feel. The jungle temples that generate are another plus. Though the loot is overall not that great, you can get some redstone components, and the building itself fits the surroundings very well. Really, the only downside of this biome is that it can be a bit tedious to travel through due to all the trees and bushes cramped so closely together. Like the Mushroom Plains and the Nether Forest, the Ice Spikes biome is an example of cool and unique world generation that gives Minecraft its own quirky feel. The Ice Spikes biome is similar to the Snow Taiga, but instead of trees everywhere, you've got tall towers of ice. It is pretty tough to survive in, but if you watch Minecraft YouTube at all, you know it can be done. The Ice Spikes biome is one of Minecraft's little-known gems. The Shattered Savanna is definitely a place worth mentioning when discussing the best landscapes in Minecraft. The massive cliffs and hills, sometimes including floating islands and massive waterfalls, put it in a category of its own among biomes. It also has many of the features that the normal savanna has, like acacia trees and villages, so you don't have to make any compromises as far as livability. This biome's stunning natural beauty is truly a sight to see. The giant tree taiga has a lot of the good of the taiga mixed in with a lot of the good of the jungle, making it, by simple math, one of the best biomes in Minecraft. The giant spruce trees can grow in a few different shapes, and they look really nice sprouting out of the brownish-green podzol, which can only be found around those trees or in bamboo forests. The mossy cobblestone boulders scattered throughout the forest are a nice touch to the biome, and it fits in well with the other colors. The giant tree taiga is a perfect place to build and a fun area to explore in any survival world. Because we haven't gotten the chance to see all the features in the upcoming 1.17 biomes yet, we can't officially rank them, but based on what we know so far, they could definitely be some of the best in the game. The mountains look amazing in terms of their sheer scale and realism, while the cave biomes are everything we always wish for in a cave update and more. The fact that biomes can now generate vertically, say a capped peak above a mountain grove, above a lush cave, above a deep dark biome, as opposed to just laterally, opens up a lot of opportunities for awesome new scenery. Hey Weekly Thing fam, before we get to our number 1 Minecraft biome, I just wanted to mention that only a teensy tiny percentage of our viewers are actually subscribed right now. If you've stuck around this long, you're probably enjoying the video. So if that's the case, please press that subscribe button because we've got lots of other Minecraft content. If you don't, you'll instantly regret it. Now let's get back to the video. The number 1 biome in all of Minecraft is none other than the Badlands, previously known as the Mesa. Added way back in 1.17, the Mesa biome is very exciting to come across in the overworld. First of all, it looks great. Many of the biome variants and terrain generations are inspired by the rock formations of the southwest US. It's like seeing the Grand Canyon in Minecraft. The different layers of red, orange, yellow, and brown blocks add realism and blend together perfectly to create a great-looking biome. While it's mostly arid, there are areas that generate with oak trees, making mesas livable for survival players. Unlike any other biome, mesas are filled with surface-level mineshafts, which can be fun to explore, have great loot, and add to that Wild West theme. Gold also generates very commonly in mesas, more commonly than iron in fact, which means that the mesa is not only aesthetically beautiful, but is also a practical place to find one of the game's most valuable and useful resources. Mesas are the only biome where red sand can be found, a good block for builders. All that combined with a seemingly endless supply of terracotta, a very useful building block that's otherwise expensive to get, and it's hard to see how anything can top it. The Mesa really is the perfect Minecraft biome. Thanks for watching.